All right, so now that we've got our model in here, let's. I want to just make the level pretty quickly, okay? So I want to try this out, all right? I'm just making this on the fly. I haven't really planned this out. It's not a hard game to make, guys. But yeah, so what I've found is I found I'll actually bring it up here from my file explorer. Um, don't want that. If I go to my downloads, I find this little Pac-Man level design here. It's a PNG file, so I'm actually going to import it in the engine and use it as a little template to make the level. Okay, and then later, we'll add like the little food that we pick up, the lives, and then we'll add the ghosts, and then some music and that. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty handy to make, like I must say. So I'm going to create another folder, and I'm just going to call it level or environment. That level's fine. It's not going to be much in here anyway. Let's get Pac-Man, drop it inside. Okay, and then what I want to do is go File, New Level. We'll select Basic, click Create, and then I'm going to. Then notice if I drop the texture on top of this static mesh, it repeats it over its tiled. Okay, I don't want that. So the quickest way to fix that is just delete the floor, quickly add to the project up here with the green plus. Go to Shapes, grab a plane, just wherever you want in your world. Over here with the plane selected in the details section on the right hand side, just zero out the location. Then click the padlock for the scale, and we're going to change the value to 80. And now if I drop the texture on top, we got, it's not great, is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's not the nicest. I might want to resize that. Let's, because it's more of a rectangle shape in it. So press R. Let's bring it, that's much better. Okay, let's bring it in somewhere like this. And then if I press play, I've got my player here. Let me just see. These are quite, yeah. I want to make this tighter, or do I make the sphere bigger? I don't know. Let's bring it in. It's all trial and error, remember? And obviously, if I planned ahead, I would have these values for you, but it's good to see it in real time how I'm doing it, you know? Yeah, sure. I'm going to bring it in a bit more. A bit more. And then let's press play now. That's kind of cool. Might make Pac-Man just a bit bigger now. Because he doesn't have as much space, so um do you know what? Just yeah, no. Third person character, blueprints, third person blueprint. Let's get the cube show. Scale it up like so. Now press play. I think that's nice, really. Yes. And if I need to tweak it later, I will. Okay. So this is a pretty quick way of doing it, Obviously, we can make better levels than this, I just want this for handiness, but I'm going to save all. I'm going to call this my level 1, and then I'm going to go back into the level, and I'm going to use a rapid prototyping tool called CubeGrid. Okay, so to get that, you need to go into modeling. So if I go selection mode, go to modeling, to the left-hand side here, to say CubeGrid, like so, and my CubeGrid is now appearing. Okay, so I'm just going to click on the level 1 editor, and I'm going to use this as a rough estimate of where I want my walls. It's not going to be perfect because of the resize. Although what I could do is I'm going to change the size anyways. It's just a rough estimate. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to just select this, press E to pull, and Let's go again. E. Let me just accept this. Make sure. Oh, it's disappeared. Okay, so what do you want to do? Want to save this again? Control Shift S, and then let me just see here. Cube grid. Where's my cube grid? There it is. And I'm just going to select this little wall. Press E. Accept. Okay, it disappeared. It's because I'm on the plane. I need to be on the level 1 editor. That's why. Level 1 editor. Cube grid. I'm going to just click the level 1 editor again so it's in light blue. EE, accept. Yeah, that's fine now. Okay, so you need to make sure you've clicked on level 1 editor. Okay, and so you're on the cube grid, level 1 editor is selected, and then you can start creating the mesh. Okay, so let's just see here. I got EE and EE to pull. If I want to go the opposite way, it's Q. Well, this is a rapid prototyping tool that will work like a little dream for us just to make it. And then I can make all the textures blue or something, just it's a little prototype of Pac-Man. And it's pretty cool. Bu- 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 bum. And there we have that in here. Okay, so there's our walls. So what I want to do now, I'm just going to go back to selection mode. I'm going to press play and see how it moves. I think I need to move my camera away. I'll make back a little bit bigger, but it's starting to look pretty cool. All right, we're making the right tracks with it, okay? So I'm just going to save my work so I don't lose it because Unreal likes to crash. Well, let's find a material. There's probably some blue material in here. There's got to be. So if I just click on the starter content, materials, is that it? No, there's more in here. I'm just going to click content and M underscore because the naming convention for material is M. And I'm just going to see if there's anything, not really, no, but I can change something up. So I got a basic floor here. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to call it M underscore walls underscore blue. And then I'm going to press spacebar just to open that up while it's selected, or you can double click. Now, if I click on this node, click on the default value bar, I can make it more of a blue, I hope. Let's see what that looks like. Sure. I'm going to also plug it into the emissive. Give it a bit of a glow. Oh, wow, that's nice. Let's see what that looks like. So let's save it. And then if I grab that material and just drop it on top of these static meshes, and obviously this one because it's made separate. Um, it's kind of cool. So if I just take away this, I'm actually going to make that black later on and, put our little models in here, but this is just a guideline for now. So let's just press play and see. Okay, so we got some blue walls. Sure. Okay. I'm gonna make Pac-Man a little bit bigger. Uh, maybe let's see what's like there. We'll round the number off if we need to. That's actually much better because he definitely fits, right? Ah, yeah, that's it. Because it is a bit of a tight. Yeah, yeah, I like that for now. We'll see how it goes later when we're colliding with enemies, etc. But yeah, cool. All right, so we got that. And also I am gonna just that blue's a little bit jarring. I'm not gonna lie. So if I go content, m underscore walls, I'm just gonna open this up and I'm gonna make this a bit darker. Maybe not that dark. Maybe about there. That's much nicer, I think. Like, 'cause it's a bit jarring on the eye. Sure. Okay, cool. All right. So there is our little wall levels. Now, what I want to do is I want to create, I want to create the little score counter for picking up the food. Okay. So the food's really simple to do, guys. All right. First of all, we need to create a variable. Okay. So this tutorial is obviously set up for people that have just are just getting into Unreal Engine. So basically variables. It's just a way to store data within the engine. That's it, really. Okay. So I'm gonna go content. I'm gonna right click, create a new folder. I'm gonna just call this one. I'm just gonna call it food pickups. Why not? And then open that up, and we'll right click. Well, actually, you know what? We'll go to the third person character blueprint and create our variable first, like I said we were going to do. So open up the third person character blueprint, and down the bottom left it says variables. Just going to call this food score, because obviously every time he eats, it's like 10 points, yeah? So food score. However, it's set to a Boolean. You can see over here on the right hand side in the details section. It's set to a Boolean, and a Boolean is a true or false value. I need it to be set to an integer, okay? Integer is a round number, so it's a number without a decimal point, okay? And I'm just going to compile it, and you can see it has a food score of 0. I'm going to leave it at 0, okay? Because every time I pick up, I want it to add 10. So I'll save that. It's kind of like the same principle applies to this as my coin counter video tutorial. It's the same thing. But anyway, so now I want to do is jump back into the folder I just made for the pickups, food pickups. And I want to right click and I want to create a blueprint class, okay? And that blueprint class is going to be an actor. It even tells you what an actor is. An actor is an object that can be place respawned in the world. So actor, the name of convention is BP for blueprint underscore food. Okay? Open this up. And what I need a static mesh. So components, click add, static mesh. I'm just going to call it food. And I'm going to get a little sphere, because that's all they are. There's little spheres, aren't they? So sphere should have a sphere static mesh. Now see the way I've selected there, we can't see it, and this whole outline is changed orange. It's because it's a big model and we're inside the model. So if you scroll out, you'll be able to see it, okay? Now I'm pretty sure this is too big, okay? But let's see what it looks like if I minimize the screen. I'm going to zoom in here. Where's our start? Our player starts here. So I wanted to, cool. Let's go there. I'm going to just drag and drop this. Yeah, that's huge. So let's open that up again. If I minimize this window a little bit, I go to the scale section. I want to scale it down to 0.5. You know what? Maybe 0.4. And I think that that is okay. Maybe a bit smaller, actually. Maybe let's do 0.3. And then I'll just minimize this window for now. And let's just bring it here like so. And I'm going to just put a few in just to get a better idea. I'll press play. Yeah, that size 0.3 is nice. Okay. Obviously nothing's going to happen yet. I'm just going over the top of them. There's no what's it called? There's no event set up yet. But what I am now going to do is I'm going to actually just try. I'm going to click on this plane and I'm going to move it over a bit like so. And see, that would be more of a center, I think. Yeah, I've got to just play that by ear. But that's okay. So we have our BP food. Go back in there now, okay? And to run an event around the static mesh, we need collision. So click add in components, type in sphere collision. All right, we're going to call this food PU trigger. food pickup trigger. Okay, simples. Now, with that, I want to right click and I want to add an event on component begin overlap. All right. And basically, every time I overlap with the sphere collision that is surrounding my sphere, also I'm going to need to resize my sphere collision. So press R. Oh, I've also made the child of the food. I don't want to do that. So just drop it on top of the food. So it's now free. And then I got my scale here. I'm going to scale this up to 2. And basically, it surrounds my sphere. Okay. So if I right click, obviously you're supposed to right click and then on component begin overlap takes us to the event graph. Okay. So every time I pick up this sphere, aka our food pickup, I wanted to increase my variable food score by 10 points. So the variable is stored in the third person character in this blueprint. So I need to get the information from this blueprint into this blueprint. Oh, so to do that, I have to cast. So from the other actor, just cast to third person. Okay, third person character. And then I'm just going to get food score. And I'm going to add what it's called an arithmetic operator. I'm going to add 10 points. So I get my current value. I add 10. I need to then set the new value. So pull off this blueprint again. Set food score. And plug the little green pin into the green pin and run your line of execution. Basically saying, look, whoever the actor that I want to interfere and run the event for in the sphere collision is my third person character. I then want to get the food score variable and I want to add 10 and then I want to update it to its new amount. Okay. Now we will create a score board on the screen. Okay. On the viewport. So you can see it on the HUD pretty much. Okay. The HUD for heads up display. But just for now, I don't have that. I just want to see if this works. Okay. So I want to print a string. It's for development purposes only, just to test it out. Okay. I'm going to plug this into here like so. So hopefully it'll bring the number up on screen. And obviously I picked up the food. I want it to then disappear. So destroy actor. So it looks like I've actually ate the food. So destroy actor. Okay. Compile, press play, and let's go eat some food. Okay. So there's 10, 20 because I had 2 at once. Okay, I might have to change the size a little bit later of the sphere collision, but that's working. Okay, so let's just dull this down a bit. I don't need this open anymore, to be fair. But I need this. Yeah, so that's the mesh. It's the capsule collision that I want to change. I'm gonna change it down to 2, and I'm gonna make the mesh um 0.8. No, I'm not gonna do that. 0.7. 0.6, 0.7. And then I'm going to just move it accordingly, like so. Now, I don't know how, let's see, let's get a better look. That might, maybe I want to do 0.65. Let's test it out, because we got the collision here in front of the mouth, so it might work, it might not. All right. See, we got 1, 2. I'm going to have to replace these. I don't want to pick 2 up at the same time. I mean, yeah, no, he's too big now, isn't he? So, let's see, let's bring him down to zero point 0.6. Nah, zero point 0.6, and then let's move him over in the middle. Go to the capsule component, and let's bring that down to 1.5. Aha, okay, and then for God's sake, let's bring it back up to no 0.7. Press R. Oh, I got snap and turn it off. Oops. I just want a little bit of a perimeter, a little border. Yeah, a little bit of space. We compile that. Let's press play. Bingo. There's 10 points in the top left, 20 points, 30 points. Awesome. Cool. So let's save it. Control Shift S. And you know what? Let's get that added to the HUD. Let's create a HUD. So I do that. We'll go content. We'll right click. We'll create a new folder. And we'll call it UI. And we'll open that up. And we'll go user interface. Right click user interface widget blueprint. Select user widget. And we'll call it WBP for widget blueprint underscore HUD for heads up display. And we'll open this up. All right. Now what we need is a canvas panel in the palette. So canvas panel. And then I'm going to need a text box. Okay. So text box, I think it's over in the top right in Pac-Man, but it's up to you what you want to do. And notice how I add this text box in here. I got this little flower. Okay. It's actually called an anchor, and I'm just going to move it over to the right hand side of the screen. So that determines the positioning of my like whatever component I want to put in here. Okay, so in this case text box. Now the text box, I don't need to actually type in any text here. I am going to label it in the details though. It gets messy in here. I'm just going to call it food score. Just so I know what it is. But here's the text. I don't need to change that. What I'm going to do is next to it, there's a little icon here. It's pretty new in 5.5. Usually it says bind. So they've changed that. That's a little change I've just noticed. You click this little icon, create binding. This window will open up for us. Make some space. You want to cast to the third person character. Object is get player character. And then as BP third person character, you want to get food score. And then just join it up to the return value. This little node here will appear automatically for you. It's just converting the text into integer. So text into a numeric value. If I press compile now and I press play, you're still not going to see anything. Okay. So I'll press escape. What we want to do now is go to our level blueprint so we can see our HUD. So up here, you got this little branch icon. Click it, open level blueprint. Then you got event begin play. Okay, so event begin play, we want to create a widget. The class is going to be our HUD that we just created. And from the return value, we want to add to viewport. So we don't add to the player screen because the player screen, it's for like a multiplayer split screen. Okay, so certain section of the screen. This is the whole screen, the viewport. Okay, so compile that. Now if I press play, I can see a little counter up there of 0. Let's see if it works. So I'm gonna go eat this one. 10. 10's updated. 20, 30. Okay, that's pretty cool.
So we'll see you in the next one.